Still Frito, 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 still Frito.
Hey everybody!
Hi!
Welcome to Just Whatever.
Or whatever.
Okay, so today we are talking about when we went to go see NCT 127. So this is a story time. Story time.
Yeah, today we'll be doing a story time about our concert experience when we saw NCT 127.
127.
Yeah, in Dallas.
No, in Atlanta.
That's true.
No.
That's true.
No, we was in Atlanta.
In Atlanta. We were in Atlanta when we saw.
Yep. Zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
So, we were in Atlanta. So, this was an experience.
It was an experience.
Start from the beginning. Okay, so, in the beginning, there were three people. So, it was me, Mark Christian, and it was Danielle again.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we stayed in Tennessee, and so we drove to Atlanta.
By we, she mean Danielle and I.
All of us stayed. Oh, drove.
Yeah.
Yeah, they drove. I didn't drive. Okay, so anyway, we went to Atlanta, and it just started off very terrible. And I say it started off terrible because
the night before,
yeah,
we were supposed to leave. The Airbnb we originally had checked out for our trip there, she canceled on us due to security issues that she thought would be fixed by the time we were getting ready to check in, but weren't fixed. So she canceled it and suggested other places. The thing is, we didn't have to put forth any more money to another place because they gave us credit. And I was able to find us another place with the same price.
Yeah. But this is why it started off terrible. It started off terrible, yes, because of that. Mm-hmm. And the original Airbnb was 1.4 miles away from the venue.
Much closer.
The Airbnb that we ended up staying in,
38 minutes.
It was 38 minutes, but of course, that's not including Atlanta's traffic. So it basically took us up to an hour to get from
Atlanta.
It took us an hour from the Airbnb to get to the venue. And even then, it took us around
an hour to find parking. So that's 2 hours, mind you.
Yeah.
That it took us to get in line, to get our tickets, to get our wristbands and everything.
Yeah.
And to go inside for the concert.
Yeah. And so, we eventually find a parking spot. And once we do that, we have to walk from the parking lot all the way to the venue. It's not a bad walk. The walk was okay.
It was only 11 minutes.
What, the walk?
Mm-hmm.
I promise you it felt less than that.
It was 11. I was looking at it on my phone.
It didn't feel like, it felt less than that to me, but okay. And so, me and Danielle had P2 tickets.
I had P1.
Yeah, and so we had to split up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, waiting in line wasn't that long.
Yeah, I was able to, occupy my time by talking to some of the other people in the line with me. So that was nice.
Yeah, I didn't have that. No, that did not happen to me. I was on my phone texting her, "Oh, I miss you. I wish I had somebody to talk to." Because Danielle, we was not talking at that moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at one point, they were pulling people out of the line who were closer to the building, because I was in one of the last lines, closer to the tour bus. So they were pulling people out to like do some interviews, and then some of the members of NCT came out to like say hi to people. So people like who were more closer to the building, to the doors, they rushed over to go see them and everything because we were like sectioned off like barricades and barricaded lines. So I wasn't about to jump no barricades to go see them and try to jump with all these people. No, but people did do that, you know.
I believe you. There's some trifling people in the venue. Okay, so eventually we make our way into the venue. And I was like, okay, Marcretia, just text us, let us know once you get into the venue.
Yeah.
So we can, you know, so me and Danielle can catch up.
Yeah, I was the first one in there out of, you know, our friend group. I was the first one in there. So I went in there and I was trying to decide, what should I do first? Should I go get something to drink, you know, to stay hydrated? Should I get something from the merch table, or should I just go find us a spot, you know? Because it looked like it was already filling up and they had people sitting down. So I was like, forget it, I'm just go. But as I was walking, I walked past where they were selling light sticks. I was like, I'm going to get me a light stick because I want one. So I grabbed one and then I went and copped the squat over as close to a barricade as I could get. Mind you, they had us sitting down, so it wasn't that close, and there was already other people in front of me. And it was just the whole time while waiting for them to, you know, their section to get in the building, more people were coming in and just like stepping over and trying to get in where they couldn't really fit in, but were still trying anyways. Mind you, they still they were making people sit down and not stand up. So it's like, how could you even find you a spot to sit, you know? But people were just finding their ways, and just it got crowded real quick. But then Danielle and Diamond showed up.
Yeah. So when we showed up, of course they had to like check our purses and like wand us down and stuff. And so I showed them my ID so I can get a wristband for drinks or whatever, just in case. But I promised myself, I was like, nah, I'm not gonna drink tonight, you know. So we walk in. All they say is they just scan our tickets. They don't make sure that we are supposed to be on the floor or anything. They just scan our tickets and let me and Danielle just walk on through. Again, they did not check if we were supposed to be on the floor or if we were supposed to be upstairs. Mind you, this was supposed to be a sold out show. So what happened was, I already had a light stick because I pre-ordered mine online, which I'm mad about because I pre-ordered it only for it not to glow the way that hers glowed when the songs came on. It did glow, but it didn't change colors the way that hers changed colors.
Because the ones they were selling there were set up to their Bluetooth to be connected to their music. So it was like,
and I thought,
you had to buy it there.
I thought mine was supposed to do that as well.
I was hoping for hers, but it didn't turn out that way.
But whatever. That's neither here nor there. So me and Danielle, we walked through, and I'm like, okay, Danielle, what side of the barricade did she say she was gonna be on? So by the time we get in there, there's this guy who keep yelling, sit down, sit down. And I'm like, I'm not sitting down until I find my friend. So I look, I spot her head. And I'm like, okay, Danielle, she's over here. And it was crowded. It was hard to find a seat. But I'm that type of person who, I came there with somebody, so I'm going to stay there with that person. So I walked over some people to sit next to her. And so I do apologize to the person in front of me. I feel like she forgave me because of what I did. We'll get there. But yeah, so I said, it was somebody already in front of me, and so I squatted down and like, kind of like sat on like the ends of her foot. Again, I apologize. But again, I feel like she forgave me later, and we'll get there. So I sat down next to Marcretia, and it was bad because I have bad knees. And so it was a struggle. It was a struggle.
Yeah. So after they came in and we sat together, Danielle, she sat a little farther from us.
Yeah, she actually had a spot to sit down. Like, she didn't sit as close to Marcretia as I was trying to get her to. I was like, hey, here's a spot. It wasn't really a spot, but She's small, so she couldn't
Yeah.
fit right
It
there.
was about 2 hours of waiting while sitting down.
Yes, it was
You
terrible.
know.
I was leaning on her.
It
She was my support.
I almost got knocked over a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because people were just constantly walking back and forth.
Yeah.
I saw the same chick go back and forth 5 times. Every time she was with a different person. It was like,
She was trying to go get
where
her
are you
friends.
taking them?
Yeah.
You see how tight, how are you making this space? Like, don't you see us right here? And then people are constantly like trying to look like, oh, can I get, no.
Yeah. And
There's
then
nowhere you can walk.
it really
Nowhere.
It was crowded. And then what was crazy was, like, whenever I looked back, it looked like it was just getting more packed. Like, they packed us in there like some freaking sardines. And then it was a group of chicks who made room for themselves to sit behind us. And when I sat next to her, it was already no more room. So somebody was sitting on my legs, and it was just, well, not my legs, but like my feet, because I was sitting on my knees. So somebody like had my sitting on my legs. Like, to this point, people just didn't care if they was sitting on people or stepping on people or whatever. But I was optimistic. I thought we was gonna have a good time because they were playing songs.
Yep.
And everybody was
singing along and waving their light sticks and everything.
and just shaking it and just moving it. I thought it was gonna be a good night.
Yep.
But in my head, I was also thinking, okay, once they tell us to stand up, you know, we're not that far from, you know, the stage. So I'm like, okay, once they tell us to stand up, you know, we can move, you know, a little bit closer and stay by the barricade and be fine. Well, did they tell us to stand up?
No, they did not. See,
No.
what happened was...
What happened was...
some people started screaming.
Right before that, I'm sorry. Right before that, I couldn't sit down anymore because I was in so much pain. I have tendinitis in my knees. My body is like an old person because of, you know, growing up, what I used to do and stuff. So anyway, I couldn't stand sitting down anymore. So I stood up. And I was like, if this dude tell me to sit down, F it, because I'm standing up. He don't know what my body has been through. I can't sit down for that long. Once I stand up, I look behind me. I try to tell Danielle to stand up, but I can't see her. And then I think, did I tell you? I was like, hey, Marcretia, go ahead and stand up. But not. Like, did I suggest for you to stand up too?
You were trying to tell Danielle
To stand up?
Yeah. But as soon as you were about to tell her, people started screaming from the back, which made everybody from the back stand up and rush forward over the people who were sitting down in front of them. So it's like a stampede, you know, basically, and it's like a whole rush forward. And Diamond had to help me up, and then we had to shield this other chick from getting trampled.
The chick I was sitting
like,
on,
oh.
I apologize for sitting on your foot, but I made sure you did not get
It was
trampled.
horrible.
Yeah.
Some people got stepped on and everything. Like,
People trampled,
it was
not stepped on, trampled. It was a
literally
legit
like a stampede. Yeah.
And it was so bad to the point where I had grabbed onto the barricade on my side at one point, trying to shield the person who I was sitting on the foot. So I was like, I yelled, my voice is already small. I was like, stop, stop.
And after she had helped me
Nobody
up,
stopped.
I was holding on to her like this, and I was using my hips like this. I was like, whoa, because y'all ain't gonna push me. And I'm like, whoa, this girl is right here. And like, what y'all doing?
Nobody stopped. And
Nobody.
So I knew I couldn't hold off a whole group of people. So I stuck my arms under the chick, and I lifted her up, and I'm like, you gonna need to get your butt up, because these people ain't stopping. And then after that, we just rode the stampede like a wave, and it pushed us all the way toward
it definitely pushed us closer from where we started at, and like we ended up 2 people away from the barricade.
Yeah,
that's
we
where
were
we
that
were.
close. Golly,
We were right there. But as
Didn't
soon
feel
as
like
the concert started, we shifted this way. We shifted that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy. It was a lot of pushing, man.
And then what's terrible is somebody screamed to cause the stampede for people to get trampled. Like, people literally was getting trampled on.
Like I told Diamond and Danielle, I thought it was planned because like none of the security were like, "Oh, you can stand up now."
Yeah.
People, literally, it was a group of people who were behind us who started screaming and stood up, which caused all of this commotion.
Yeah. So I'm sure several people got trampled on. Danielle did get trampled, which is terrible. And so I remember, like, once we got pushed all the way toward the front, I remember calling Danielle to check on her because we got separated. And so, and what's terrible is we still had time before the concert. Like, the scream was for nothing because the concert didn't even start on time. The concert started late. Now, it wasn't super late.
It was
it was like maybe
10,
15 minutes late. Yeah, but it still started late. So people were trampled for no reason. So then the lights go dim and everybody's hype and stuff. And I'm not in a good mood at this point because I can already tell that it was going to be some more pushing. And we not new to this. We've been VIP, for a minute now. We've had VIP tickets for a little bit, like...
No shame.
For other concerts, for other concerts, for Kelly Clarkson, I was in the barricade, I was VIP, all this stuff. So, we not used to being close. However, I can't say that for everybody because I understand getting excited because I was excited. And I've been following NCT since they debuted. So like
this was their first America tour.
Yeah, their first world tour. Period. So I'm so excited for these people, and I was trying to see my boo Mark Lee. He's one of my top biases. And so I was excited only for that to be ruined because people, I might not seem compassionate, but I am. And so I couldn't have a good time because I knew that other people was trampled on just so these people who I don't even think was supposed to be down there could be up front. And so the lights go dim. People start screaming and pushing.
NCT come out on stage. NCT 127.
And I don't even see them come out on stage. Because my head is not even looking straight. My head is trapped upward. Because 2 people behind me is using my shoulders like a stepping ladder. And my head was trapped between somebody's arm right here trying to record and somebody's arm right here trying to record. And I cannot move my head for nothing. And I'm already cautious.
I feel like a lot of people experienced that night.
Yeah. And so
I had like that all around me.
I had to let her just take this one. And I was like, F it.
Yeah, she left.
I left because I had a panic attack. I've never had a panic attack before. But I had a panic attack. I couldn't breathe. And nobody was letting me out until I started crying. And that pissed me off. Because it's like, if you see somebody saying, hey, I'm trying to get back, I'm trying to move back, and nobody move, bruh. So, I lost respect for the fandom that night. I was so upset. I was mad. Not as mad as Danielle, because she actually was trampled. Like, and if anybody say, oh, my adrenaline was just high, like, I didn't see anybody get trampled, that's a lie, because a lot of people got trampled on that night. And when I was getting out of the way going to the back, I saw people sitting along the walls because they had literally just experienced panic attacks or they were trampled on. So,
yeah. So after she left, like she said, I took one for the team, and I was like, I feel like all of us shouldn't, lose out on not getting anything. So it's like, I might as well just try to get what footage I could for, for Danielle and Diamond, and try to, get what I could for all of us, and just roll with the flow. I was not pushing anybody at all. I felt like I was being treated like a seesaw. My back was the pivot, because like when people would push forward, I'm like, whoa, whoa. People would push back, like, get off me, whoa, whoa. So it's like, People were on the braids, my neck. Oh my God, it was just terrible. I could barely hold my head up by the end of the concert. I could barely walk because my foot had a freaking cramp in it that just wouldn't go away.
Somebody stepped on my ankle. I was limping the entire night. It was terrible.
It's like the performances, the boys, they did wonderful. They did an amazing job. From what I could see,
From what I could see in the back.
Without staring at people's phone, From what I could see, everybody did well on stage. It was just people in the crowd. They were not respectful and they were not being courteous at all. No. And it's just crazy.
I've never been
in so much pain after the concert before.
Me neither. Like, for the Chic K one, our feet was hurting. That's it. And when I tell you it was tight, it was still tight.
And that was only because we had been standing for a long time outside before we got inside, only to stand for an hour more. But but in there we didn't stand that long. It was just the force, having to use muscles to try to stay afloat and not get pushed over.
And again, like the Chic K one we were tight, but a lot of people was respectful. Like nobody was like pushing up on people to get closer. The only time we did get pushed on was when Chic K came out to like touch people. That's when things got crazy. Yeah. People was like, whoa, whoa, where did he go? But for this, people was pushing for no reason. People was like in the back. People was like walking. I was treated so poorly.
It sucks.
Man, I got to the back. I was crying. I sent them a text message. I just had a panic attack. At first, I tried to find Danielle. I was like, okay, she on the barricade. Maybe I can go there. Nope. Like, once I got out of there, they was not letting anybody in, back in. So, I was just like, I'm just going to stand by the bar and watch the concert from here. And I did. And then, they pissed me off to the point where I got a drink. I was like, F this. I said I wasn't going to drink nothing. Give me something hard.
Yeah, at one point, I even thought about, going to go find them. And I was like, there's no way they're going to let me through this crowd to get out. So it's like,
they barely let me out.
But, like, I did, I did have some fun. I did have some fun, even though it was tight. And it's like, there were moments where I had breathing room. People were like, finally, I had space in front of me. It's like, oh my gosh, I could stand. My back, give me a break. I was like, oh my gosh. It was like, I can enjoy the concert and wave my light stick around, and cheer for them on stage and sing along. But like most of the time it was just packed like sardines.
Yeah.
People just pushing.
But
and it's crazy because like there were kids in the pit. There were kids, you know. I didn't even by the end of the concert. I didn't end up by who I began the concert with. I ended up by some little kids who looked like they were middle schoolers and their chaperone. You know?
That's why I was laughing, because I remember you was like, I was by somebody and they chaperone.
I started off from this side all the way down there close to the middle and up there. It's like, it's just crazy. Then people's just hair was getting tangled. I done had all different types of hair tangled up in my face during that one night. Just like, come on. Y'all know how it is in these concerts. Please put your hair away. If you gonna be all up on somebody, put your hair away.
Yeah, it didn't smell good either in there.
It was just hot. And they were like, Mark was like, they were all like, it's hot, Lana. You're right. It's hot in here. Woo. What happened to the AC?
It was like, everything wasn't bad. It's just, people just wasn't respectful. Now, when I did get to the back, Danielle did, after I said I had a panic attack, she left the barricade to come find me. She was in a terrible mood because she was trampled on. But I did try to get out of my negative, you know, headspace and try to enjoy the show. And what I can say is that they did a great job.
They did, yeah.
And I was so proud of them. And that's what I was yelling in the back. I was yelling, F it up. Except I didn't, well, y'all know what I said. And then this one chick next to me, she looked at me, hell yeah. And I'm just like, okay, F it up, hell yeah. And then there was just two of us.
Yeah,
there was two of us in the back. I don't know her name. I don't know who she was, but we had a good time in the back.
Yeah, I was around a lot of people who were like screaming for the people. They were screaming for Haechan and Johnny mostly. And they were like, Johnny, do the whoa. Like, come on, y'all, the whoa ain't that. It's okay, but come on.
Bruh, people in the back was going hard for Utah. And I'm like, okay. Because I was like, Johnny. Yeah. I was yelling for Mark. F it up, Mark, with your fine ass. It was a lot of fine
Trying my best to
asses.
support everybody, you know.
Yeah, I screamed for everybody. Like, especially when people had their song. That part in the song, like Do Young, he represented for his city. That's all I gotta say. He was assigned for Atlanta. He was assigned to Atlanta. And in my head, Do Young is my child. I can say that though, because I'm older than him. So I can say that he's my child. And so I was like, yes, F it up, son, F it up. And like whenever people had their moment, I screamed for everybody. Cause I love all 9 of them. Well, technically 10, cause you know, when I miss you. But you know, I love all of them, and so I scream for all of them, and I scream for my other son too. But you know, I was a proud mama. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Overall, you know, the concert could have been better if the people were a bit more respectful and everything.
Yeah, nobody was.
And we could have enjoyed, you know, and gave the attention and the energy that we wanted to give to the boys performing, to NCT 127 performing.
Yeah.
It sucks that it happened that way, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just making me not want to do pits anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going for the corners now. The corners of the upstairs.
We could have also just spent $85.
True that.
To be upstairs. Because the thing is, it was a sold out show, but it was so many seats on the second level.
So many.
Because people didn't check tickets correctly.
Right.
And just let people who pay $85 be on the
They
floor.
let them come down there, but they wouldn't let anybody go up. Like people who wanted to go up, they didn't let anybody go up. If I would have known that,
I would have just paid my $85.
Gone straight up there.
And just called it a day. But,
yeah.
But, with that all said though, NCT 127, if you guys ever see this video, please know that we love you and we we feel like your show was great. You guys did put on a great,
amazing
show.
Amazing.
It's just some of your fans that's under 18 is rude as heck. And I'm too grown to get into a fist fight with with teenagers. Because they had no respect for anybody but themselves. I hope I was not like that when I was a teenager. I feel like even then I was very considerate when I was younger. But that's neither here nor there. Other than that, that's our story time.
Yep, that's our story time, you know. So thank you for tuning in. You know, and if you haven't heard of NCT 127 before,
check them out. Have your life
They're
changed.
still on tour right now. So.
Yeah, at this moment. At this moment, really are.
Probably not when this video pops.
Not
in America at least. But you know, it was good. It was a learning experience.
It was.
Yeah,
it was
definitely.
Everybody's not nice, but that's okay.
But yeah, hopefully, you know, if you guys attend whatever concert, hopefully, you know, you guys are respectful and have fun, you know,
don't
have a better experience, you know. It's not worth people getting seriously injured over, especially yourself.
People could have had a concussion, people could die. Like, getting trampled ain't cool. And acting like it didn't happen. When your foot literally stepped over a whole nother human being. Oh. But I ain't nobody mama except for Do Young and my other son. Ooh. But other than that, yes. Thank you. Please like and subscribe.
Click that bell if you want to be notified for more videos. Until then, see you next time.
Bye. Drink water.